transfer over just to tell me it's not a YouTube. Can I get a YouTube from you, man?
Man, I'm not even that good at that. You ain't gonna let me. I can give you a U. That's
we go.
That's about as good as it's gonna get, man. You trying to embarrass me out here in these streets? Let's get it, man. Let's talk some sports.
Oh man, I brought you on this channel, man. Well, first I want to introduce you, man. This is my boy Luke G. Luke G. This is the guy, one of the many that inspired me to create this YouTube channel and create YouTube. And he is, just been a film study guy. He's been everything. And I wanted to do a served up Sunday with Liddy Mob. But me and Liddy agreed we're going to say that for the first game. We had a discussion about this, that, and the third, the energy and stuff, because speculation ain't our thing. So, and I don't look at training camp for no modern, I don't do that at all. But I wanted to get on with you to pick your brain because I know you watch everything. And Served Up Sunday will be happening again with Liddy Mob. He will be back. And then we're going to have guests throughout the week. Man, Beast, Morris. If you don't know, this is Spirit of Detroit podcast. Welcome, my boy Luke G. This guy is phenomenal. He is by far one of my favorite YouTubers, besides myself, if that was a thing. If that was a thing, man.
Hey, I love that you did that because I don't think people get themselves enough props. So shout out to you for that.
Oh, man, no, man. Your channel. So when I first turned on your channel, man, I was like, this dude know what the hell. You can cuss on my channel. I'm not monetized. Ain't none of that. Go ahead. I ain't got no sponsors. So you have a ball, right? So the military is sponsoring this channel as far as I'm concerned. So you've been knowing your shit for a long time. You've been knowing your shit for a long time. You've been doing this, and you, Mobby, guys like Micro Mike, again, I could go, the list goes on. But you have been at the top of my list where I get my actual news from. So, shout out to you, man. And you being on here, being in this channel, being in this space with us at Detroit, you know what I'm saying? This just verifies me. This makes me, oh man, this verifies me. Like I got the GOAT on this channel right today.
You better stop that noise. You're right. You got your cell phone. You the GOAT.
GOAT, man.
You the GOAT.
Oh, shout out to the sponsors, baby. We gotta
you gotta make sure you don't forget the sponsors, the most important ones.
You gotta get the sponsors. So as you know, my channel is more of a essay based, narrative based. I don't really come out with news. I came out with some news about Penasini today, about his back surgery and stuff, but I haven't followed the training camp. I've been trying to catch up on videos. So you're going to take us through, if you're going to take us through the training camp, we're going to talk about Goff. We're going to talk about the offense, running backs, talk about the defense, flip it on what I've seen from or heard from Okuda. And we're going to really discuss. And then, you know anything NBA-wise?
I watch basketball, but I really watch Pistons and the Spurs. So anything in that realm I watch, but I'm not, basketball is it's like my second love, but man, I ain't really been into basketball because they've been ticking me off with this damn load management stuff. I don't know what that means. What is load management? Remember back in the day when you had your games and you played them all?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't believe in no load management.
I actually got a video I'm doing on how Sadiq Bey might take a step back. And I know people don't want to hear that. Sadiq Bey for Detroit Pistons.
Oh man, no, listen, I ain't gonna kill you on that belief. You know what I mean?
Well, check this out. I'm gonna add to your point. So load management, you got to realize load management was invented for real, like star players. It wasn't invented for these run-of-the-mill guys. You feel me? So load management, you got to realize KD's schedule for the last 5 years have been playoffs. I'm going to start from April. Playoffs, finals, Olympic Games, training camp, season. That's a whole year.
Yeah.
And a lot of players, especially LeBron, for a couple years there where he was not the most elite, had a whole year of playing. So you had training camp, you know what I'm saying? So load management throughout the season. When you playing, the Charlotte Bobcats, when they was the Bobcats, I think that's where it's because I started hearing load management in 2016. We'll get to that. We're going to get to that. I love the way you think, though. Think like my dad. They played 82 games hurt.
Hey, facts. I don't want to hear about no load management, bro. Like, if you need load management, then we'll see how you feel when we cut the season short and you lose some of that money. Now, let's see.
Games. 82 games.
I'm just saying,
man.
Bro.
Look, man, I love this channel. Let me shout out some people, and then we're going to talk Lions, man. Lions Nation Station. He says, you doing your thing, bro. Dope channel. You and Luke trying to get my own started, bro. Oh, yeah. Hey, man, get it started, man. We'll put you on. We'll do what we have to do for you, man. I'm willing to do that, man.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I generally, especially when people new to YouTube and they're talking like Detroit sports, I'll definitely bring you on, let you talk your talk, and introduce you to this audience and get you some exposure, get you some subs, and tell you what I've learned. I don't know much. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you ask me sports, I can tell you about sports, but about this YouTube game, dude, I don't do it to try to win YouTube. I do it because I just enjoy talking sports with other fans like myself.
Right. Look, man, whether you got 10,000 subs,
man, yeah, right,
or whether you got 10 subs, treat them subs like they, real people. And that's something I believe is to treat my subscribers.
Facts.
I call them believers because they actually take the time out to believe in me and listen to my videos, and they'll be listening while they're cooking. I'll read every comment, respond to every comment, and I treat them like family, man.
Right. I mean, we all fans. Like,
right.
Yeah, I think the biggest misconception is when it comes to fans is oh, you can't disagree with each other. No, I can disagree with you all the time. I mean, hell, me and you supposed to have a debate about who's gonna be the starter between Anzalone and was it Derek Barnes? I believe that was.
Yeah, and we supposed to debate about Amon-Ra, but I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. That's been revised.
hey. Just saying. I mean, you ain't gotta always agree.
I love the G brothers. Yeah, I shout out to that. I like that.
The G brothers. You like how that sounds?
What's up, Antonio Jenkins? Hey, my man, Antonio Jenkins. That's what I think it is. What up, though? Avery? What's up? Hey, Pacheco, Omar Pacheco. He has subscribed to me from your channel. Shout out to him.
Hey, Omar be in the building, man, and he know his stuff too. And believe it or not, I always pay attention to the chat. The chat don't realize it, but sometimes they'll bring somebody to my attention, and I go and do a deep dive film study on them and be like, "Yeah, I don't know what you see," and they'll be like, "Oh man, go and look at his highlights." And I'll be like, "Yeah, but when you send me this way, I'm not looking at highlights. I'm looking at snaps. I want to see what he do when the play is going in real time. I'm not, and they have sent me." They have sent me some people that I'm like, yo, all right, this one right here, that's a good call. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it right there. That's a good call. So yeah, I'm always going to I live in the chat, bro. I live in the chat. I live every comment. Every email I try to get to every email. I suck at emails though. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, man. I do my best to make myself available in every way possible so we can talk this sports.
So I want to talk about Monday. We can go from Monday to now or Sunday. I think that Jared Goff arrived on Sunday or Saturday, one of the days. He arrived early with the rookies. What's up, David Anderson? What's up, Aaron Burden? What's up, Carl Campbell? James Harrington, I appreciate you. So we've seen Jared arrive with the rookies early. I seen I put a video up. He's getting recognition from the team. He's getting love from the team. What's up, David Anderson? He's getting recognition. People are saying JG. They're calling him JG. People are saying he's walking with confidence. He's talking tough. He's understanding the offense. He's getting things going. What did you see from Jared Goff? Because I have not followed the training camp because I'm a person that needs to follow the game. Everything looked good in shorts. Shout out to Liddy Mob for saying that. Shout out to Micro Mike for saying like everybody looks good this season. We're 0-0. Shout out to him. But my big thing is, what's up, Rams house? My big thing is how does Jared G? I was about to say, how does Goff go off this season? What's he look like?
To me, when it comes to Jared Goff, and from what I'm seeing or hearing, at least out of the training camp, is that he has been dropping dimes. But again, as you said, everybody pointed out, everybody looked good in shorts and nobody's rushing at him. But I think what we are missing on any type of news that comes out when it's about dropping dimes is you should be dropping dimes when nobody is coming at you. And so as you start to learn how to increase your ability and accuracy, you add in phase by phase. So you'll start to add in people coming at you and people swiping at your arm and moving in spots and stuff, and it builds you up. So to me, the biggest thing I took out of it is they literally have took the Jared Goff back through quarterback school 101. Shout out to my man at QB school, JT O'Sullivan, former Detroit Lions, and got a beautiful YouTube channel. But they're taking him back to the QB school where they're basically saying, look, let's build him back up, get him back into his comfort zone, get the confidence back high, and get everything going down the road. There is no real excuse, in my opinion, for any fan to be down on any news that come out of training camp. You take it with a grain of salt, obviously, but I want to hear that he can throw nice passes and put them in perfect spots. And I want to hear that he's coming in early with the rookies. I want to hear that he's celebrating his backup quarterback's wife running her ass off in the track meet. I want to hear that kind of stuff because that's part of leadership. That's part of conglomerate and coming together as a team. When I don't hear that kind of stuff, that means that they're trying to be secretive and it's hush hush and the stuff is on cap.
Like the last few years.
Yeah. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that they're doing what they're supposed to do in each phase of the camps. And so that's how I view Jared Goff. Right now, Jared Goff is looking pretty decent again in 7-on-7s, right? But we get hype on flag football when people juke. And I remember when Michael Vick started that flag football league. He threw a little short route and everybody went crazy. Oh, he can come back and be a starter. So I'm just saying, let's take it with a grain of salt, but understand that there's still importance to what they're doing.
Right. I think, just to piggyback on what you said, man, this the last week of the shorts. It's padded practices next week. Then we're gonna really see some hitting and some getting. So, I'm glad Jared is, building confidence and the Tweety Mans of the world, they leaking out, what they're paid to do is leak out the little stories, little fluff stories to keep people excited and happy. But like you say, it's about the game. What are you doing in the game? A lot of times, especially last year, 2019. 2019 is when I went to see, I ran into Everything King and Man Beast Morris at the training camp. And at that time, we had drafted a Warrior. I was looking for a Warrior on the field. And I was actually trying to watch. You feel me? I was actually trying to understand what was going on. And at the time, they was in pads with the top, and they had shorts on at the bottom at that particular time. And I was like, man, I can't even judge this a Warrior character. And I was real high on him in the draft. I can't even judge him. He's 6'1" corner. I can't even judge him. He got shorts on.
Right. Right. But you also got to look at it like this, though. There's things you can look at to judge. Like, for example, right? You got shorts on, right? So we got shorts on. Obviously, you're not doing too much, but you still should be able to use simple technique. I should still be able to see your technique and stuff. Right. Are you, one of the things that I'm notorious for is I hate, and I see this in college a lot. And the only reason I got this attitude is because I listen to people like Deion Sanders and Darrell Reeves and Charles Tillman.
The real Deion.
Yeah, to me, them boys was talking real good, and it made sense. And they said, hey, if I'm in press coverage, I'm gonna pop dude for the first 4, 5, 6, 7 plays. I want him to really feel me when I, pop him with my hands. And then they all at the same time, without even talking to each other, on different interviews, different things. It's like after about that third time I pop him, when he come up for that next time to catch, he's gonna automatically slow himself down, expecting me to punch, and I'm just gonna backpedal up out of there. Right, and so those type of things I look at. So even when they got shorts on, I'm looking to see the evaluation out of them. Right. Are you putting your hands out there? Are you, or in the case of like Goff, like people talk about Goff not doing so good with the deep ball, but it's a rhythm. You have to practice rhythm and create muscle memory to it. It's a reason why.
Is that coming out of camp right now?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things was they said with Goff was, one report said that the deep ball doesn't still look good, but I don't have any doubts based on what I've seen on film that he can throw the deep ball. But this is not a deep ball issue. This is a deep ball in rhythm with receiver issue. Yeah,
so you know what? I actually follow the Rams too. I follow the Rams just to hate on number 9 over there. And the fans was talking in a group, and Rams United group. It was like, oh, finally we can see a quarterback throw the deep ball. There's a tight spiral. I haven't seen a tight spiral in 5 years. Again, he's in shorts. He hasn't lost you the game yet. You haven't experienced.
Yeah, but you're a little too hard on Stafford. And
I'm too hard on Stafford?
I'll tell you why. You're a little too hard on Stafford, and this is the reason why. Stafford 12 years, man. Stafford is known for throwing the deep ball. So again, it's not a deep ball issue, and it's not a matter of they're in shorts. It's a matter of getting into rhythm. Like the deep ball that he throws to a Calvin Johnson can't be the same deep ball he throws to a Kenny Galladay or a Marvin Jones. Or let's say, for example, when you look at Tom Brady said that he had to get into a rhythm and learn how to throw the deep ball to Randy Moss, because he was used to throwing it to people like Troy Brown. You know what I mean? Like these lower tier people, and here come Randy Moss and stuff, and it's like, all right, here you go. So I get that part of it, but I think when you look at this part of camp, all you looking for is you should be hearing about players having mistakes, and you should be hearing about players excelling at certain parts of their game.
Right. And one player I did see. I'm sorry if I cut you off, because you are my guy. I apologize.
No, you're good. Go ahead. You're good.
One player I did see. So we had argued on your channel about this dude, man, and I'm seeing some hustle. I'm seeing when I was playing, especially in high school. It was about the guys coming in early. To me, it was about the guys coming in early. They really had an impact, and the guys staying late. And when I see a Amon-Ra stay late after practice, and he's catching passes from the little machine,
202 plus every time.
Yeah, and he's catching passes. He's working with Cephas, or someone else to be there, but he's not leaving early. He's not leaving. He's not leaving on time. He's putting in the work to be a number 1. That's something I respect, because we need at least a couple Mr. 6 a.m.s. And Mr. 6 a.m. for me is a player that's watching extra tape, that's working and honing on his craft. Because if a player wakes up at 4 a.m., gets to the facility around 5, in the film room 5:30, then going out catching passes at 6. By take a rest at 7 o'clock, he's already got another hour of work. 8 o'clock comes, he eats breakfast, cools out. Kobe alluded to this when Kobe had this Mamba mentality, and he would come in at 5 a.m. and he's already getting 2-3 hours more, or 2 3-hour periods of practice more than someone else. When I'm seeing it from Amon-Ra, it's really beautiful, man. But what I'm not seeing that out of a person like Perriman, who needs this job. I'm not seeing that out of a Tyrell Williams, who, come on, who? Anyway.
but you got to understand though that the thing that you're not seeing out of those kind of players is because a lot of those players are are not chasing greatness. You know, they understand what their role is here and what they're here to do. Amon-Ra is trying to be great. He's trying to be the next name in the great list of great receivers. And so when you look at, even when you go to cross sports, the best players tend to do that. Jordan used to take, I think he said 500 to 1,000 shots afterwards from the same spot and that he missed from in practice. I know Kobe used to talk about at the practice how he would shoot, I think it was like 1,000 shots, you know, around the 3-point line and spots where he missing. You start to go through and you look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady said he used to practice trying to put the ball in strange locations. So they would set up garbage cans and weird stuff like, can you hit this? Can you know, and he was challenging himself. And you start to see that come out. What I was more impressed with when it came to Amon-Ra St. Brown wasn't the fact that he was getting the 202 catches afterwards. You know, it was the catches that he was doing. You lying on your back, taking catches one-handed from the jug machine. Who do you like? He's making himself available to the quarterback on every angle. You know what I mean? You can't beat that type of discipline and that type of respect.
Yeah, when you see that from a rookie too, a rookie who I'd say, you know, he has a pretty sure roster spot given the weak nature of the position right now. When I see that type of hustle from a rookie, I'm taking him seriously. I'm taking that person seriously when they walk in the building. And especially from a quarterback standpoint, if I see a quarterback doing the same thing, coming in early with the rookies, trying to flying dudes out to throw with them. And, you know, Victor Bolden had a little surge. All these guys had little surges, but it's just to see Amon-Ra putting that extra work and trying to be a number one. Dude might prove me wrong because I wasn't a fan of Amon-Ra because of the contested catches. You know, he was running open. There's a stat out there that actually can bat me on his contested catches. He's actually one of the best receivers in the Pac-12 with contested catches. But if you saying compare apples to apples, they all running free in the Pac-12. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah, but who was his quarterback? Who was his quarterback?
Oh, man, come on.
Let's be honest.
We do this?
Let's be honest. Because it does make a difference, bro. Like I'll never forget this, bro. I was listening to
Derditas.
Listen, whatever his name is, don't get me to lie about it.
His quarterback was a Militich Jr. Go ahead.
But I'm just saying, think about it. I'll never forget when I heard this. This came from out of Calvin Johnson's mouth. This came from out of quite a few receivers I could think of mouth. But Calvin Johnson's the one that stood out to me. I'll never forget when he first came into the league and they was asking him, hey, we see that you had a drop pass in this game, or, and he's like, yeah, it's just me trying to adjust to the pass. If the pass, was a little bit further ahead of me or out, then it's easier. Sometimes you got to have a person to throw you that thing. And if you don't have a person who can get the ball to you, it don't matter. Like I was a huge Chad Pennington fan, right? But Chad Pennington ain't finna drop no deep bomb down there, And it's a hard thing to do. And I'm just going to tell you like this. When you look at the people like Amon-Ra, the thing that stood out to me was this. He only played in 6 games, I want to say, last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was a star his second year. Before his sophomore year and his freshman year, he had a change of offense. And I think that affected his numbers as well because his role changed.
Well, I think a lot of things changed in that time because you figure COVID came in and it changed a lot. The season was off, and it was hard for a lot of players to get into rhythm. So now you're trying to ask people to get into rhythm when they're, we play this week. Maybe not this week we don't play. So it's a little bit of a challenge in there. And then on top of it, maybe I am playing this week and next week, but I don't have the same guy throwing me the ball. Or maybe the game plan has changed to where they need me to do this because we got people out with COVID and stuff. So it was a lot of stuff that played into it that changed it. But when you look at training camp and you look at, like you said, the guys in the shorts, those guys, man, look, Amon-Ra St. Brown, a guy who only played 6 games, was still well on his way to averaging like 79 yards a game if he had played the full 11, and he would have ended up with like 800 and some yards. And so when you look at that, that's right on par with what our top receiver did damn near last year, which I think was like 9 something with Marvin Jones Jr.
Marvin Jones,
So
984, I believe.
Right. But you just talking about when somebody wants to be great, they're willing to do what other people don't want to do. They're willing to put themselves in positions that others don't want to put themselves in. And to me, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he gonna make you put some respect on his name. This I promise you.
Yeah, you know, and a big thing he gonna benefit us from the running game. You know, change the gears to that. You know, Swifty and Swaggy gonna do it. You know, Swifty and Swaggy gonna do it. I believe it. What's gonna happen is, you know, I've been saying this. I have a video explaining the whole shit. I don't know. I was saying this like 2 months ago that, you know, one is going to be more of a hammer. And I think Jamar Jefferson going to get in there as well. But, you know, they're just earth, wind, and fire to me. You know, they just.
I like that. The elements.
Yeah, they just earth, wind, and fire. And I'm actually copying off of the New York Giants of 2012 New York Giants with Ward, with Ahmad Bradshaw, Brandon Jacobs. That team was running the ball different ways. And Ahmad Bradshaw is more like Jefferson. He's a little bit more of a burner. Not that athletic, of course, but he's more of a burner. And Swift is more of a Ward, and where he's, you know, he's really shifty. He's really elusive, quicker than fast, but he's still fast, you know. And obviously Brandon Jacobs would be our quasi Williams. And I believe Williams, don't get me wrong, Williams ain't no, I always respected what Green Bay had in the backfield. But, you know, I was like, that guy behind, you know, Williams, that guy behind him was going to be, you know, something else. So.
AJ Dillon. Yeah. That's a big boy.
Yeah. So, you know, they wanted to part ways with him because they know they've solidified the running back position. Plus, you know, when he did get time, he had no fumbles. You know, he had a significant amount of carries, had no fumbles. He's going to be a bell cow for us. I think he's going to be a solid dude. You know, fun-loving guy. I think he's already becoming a fan favorite because he's vocal. He's happy, you know. He's
not even vocal, man. He's relatable and he's open with the fans. Like, bro, he's open and relatable and open with the fans, and he doesn't really turn anybody down. You know, he tries his best to be involved. He tries his best to be involved when it comes to the fan base, the media, and things like that, because he understands his role. That's part of changing the perception. And it's not just him, it's Michael Brockers. It's also Trey Flowers who's starting to get in there. And you're hearing more and more people talk versus how it was previous regime, where it was the same, like, two people, I felt like it was, which was Stafford and freaking Trey Flowers. Trey Flowers would be out the game and still come to the podium. Yeah, I mean, it was a tough game to watch. You know, like, that was his whole thing, and it was like, bro, like, you know, nobody else wants to stand up and speak on behalf of this coach, and it's because you realize it now that most of them hated him. They despised him. They thought that this was a total mistake, and, you know, basically it's been proven that it was the mistake. So,
and I'm, you know, what was bothering me was so about the hire. So if you watch football, and I know you watch football, you the guy, obviously, you know, YouTube got to really thank God for you in the Detroit Lions space. We got to thank God for you. You know what I'm saying? We could just make clickbait and just say anything.
I could, but I can't do that.
Yeah, we ain't that
guy. I've never been that guy. I think the difference between me and a lot of the other Detroit YouTubers, I tell you what's going to happen. And then y'all just got to wait and see. And then it happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
what I loved was you wasn't high on Patricia when he got here.
I'm trying to get rid of that dude. I saw one game and it was 5 things that jumped out to me that made me go, this ain't gonna work.
I wasn't sold on. So I already knew the history of the New England Patriots, right, with the assistants, but he didn't even run shit. And that was my thing. Like, we're getting a person who didn't run nothing, and we knew Bob Quinn was gonna make that move regardless. Now I thought we would get somebody like the offensive coordinator. Not this clown. This clown, you know, Bill Belichick just let him, you know, do his thing. And it was for me, it was just a mistake from the get-go. And then I seen a press conference, his entrance press conference with Channel 7. He has said, low-key, he said the same thing he said when he was about to get fired. He said, I just hope my key card comes and works tomorrow. And, you know, I just we're expected to win. We're expected to take the next step. And it was like Bob Gallagher, that young looking dude from Channel 7. And he was like, yeah.
right.
Like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, I just expect my key card to work tomorrow. And they laughed and shit. I'm like, he been knowing he wasn't equipped from the beginning. He had his ideas.
But that's not his fault, though. You know what I mean? That's not. I'll never forget. I watched the interview about Matt Millen talking about himself, and he was like, "Why would I fire myself when I'm making millions of dollars?" He like now, if I was the owner, would I have fired me? Yeah, but I'm not firing myself. I'm not just you got to fire me. I'm not gonna get that money up like that. And the thing to me is that's not his fault. When I look at Bob Quinn did a lot of good things, and then he made that one fatal flaw that was unforgiving. Like for example. You know, he came out and said 9-7 wasn't good enough. That to me is forever the standard for this team. I don't care who we get as a coach. 9-7 ain't good enough. And in this case, it's 9-8, right? So you look at that and then you say, all right, here we are. We got a perfect opportunity.
And the way it was 9-7, we got to talk about that. The way it was 9-7. They start 2-6, 2-7. They win 7 games straight against inferior competition, and some of those teams that were teetering like could beat them or had the same record, they had a backup quarterback or something. You got to look at that season again.
Yeah, but
you were 2-7 and you weren't good, and then you played lesser competition and you're 9-7.
But we don't make our schedule. We just play it.
Yeah.
We just play it. So if because ain't nobody giving us no apologies now when they talk about our schedule. You know, they say that, oh, look at their schedule. Their schedule is this. Their schedule is that. Ain't nobody giving us no room for wiggle or anything like that. He said, I thought Luke G was Avery G.
That was wild. Okay.
Sorry, fellas.
Yeah, I'll take that compliment. I'll take some subs. I'll take the whole shit. Thanks. Just give me the email, man.
So, but I think when you look at it, his biggest flaw was after he said 9-7 wasn't good enough, and that coach went 6-10. And then turned around and won 3 games. He didn't fire him. See, that was his flaw. If he would have,
Patricia to do the whole year out
for the second year.
I mean, I wanted to get rid of him, but
you mean the third year?
They was gonna have to pay him anyway.
It don't matter. That doesn't matter. I'll give you your money so I can start my search for the next guy. Like that's like a dude being with a chick and being like, I ain't gonna dump this chick who keep cheating on me and causing me turmoil because she toxic because until I get the next chick. No, I'll cancel you and whatever I gotta pay you, you can take that. In the meantime, I'm trying to find something better. I don't think we would have been blessed with the coaching staff we had
if we would have waited. The coaching staff we have is a perfect storm. Just by just take the secondary coach. You know, he was up in line. He was like the second in line he's really the first in line for the defensive coordinator position of the Rams, but he fell out of favor with, McVay, and McVay tried to block anything for him. And then you had guys like the Saints are in a win now position. Their secondary coach was a bend but don't break type of secondary coach. They want to win now. They've been NFC Championship game last 3 years, 4 years. They've been in that conversation, and they just decided to move on. Campbell, went and got the job. Went out, and I have to get this job. I want this job. It was such a perfect storm. It was like poetry the way it happened for me. I know I sound crazy for saying this.
No, you don't. It is perfect. It is perfect. If you think about it, right? Well. Which I predicted we taking the tackle. Got cussed out about that one too.
You got cussed out about who?
Because about a lot of fans. Because I said we're taking the tackle and we should. Like before they traded Stafford, I was like, we going to take a quarterback. When they traded Stafford and then they got Goff with them 2 first, I said, okay, now that problem solved. We gotta go get the tackle, because if you was going to trade Stafford and not get a replacement, obviously you got to take a quarterback, right? But when they got Goff, I was like, no, he'll be okay. He can manage the game. If he is at least that Prescott, we good. I don't need him to be special. I need him not to kill me. And so,
that's what we need.
That's all you need. You don't need him to do a lot of this other stuff.
Yeah.
But when I go through and I look at it, and I'm being fair and objective, It was a perfect storm because we have tried the coordinators and it hasn't worked.
It was definitely fate.
And we tried the position coach, but this is a little bit different. We brought the guy in who relates to the players.
Right. And just everything going on in the city right now. I was just downtown and it's magnetic, man. Just with the Cunningham, the Tigers playing today, it was just magnetic. There's a different air, just the infrastructure. You see things getting built. That structure next to Detroit 1 is getting finally built. They're actually doing something with that land now.
Right.
And it's just amazing just to see. And, you Cunningham buffed up. Like, all this stuff is going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and my girlfriend, I was probably going to get a duty station in Texas, from after deployment. And I'm like, I don't even want to leave Detroit now because it's the air. Yeah. We the culture. This is, it's changing. Coming back.
100%.
How you feel about the defense doing? Like, I've only followed one story, and that was the Panisi story. So Panisi had surgery on his back. He had like these massive big calcium deposits. I don't know if you're familiar with that type of thing.
It happens.
Heard about this?
Yeah, I mean, Richie Grant. Not Richie Grant. Was it Richie Grant? I forgot his last name, but he was a fullback for the Raiders. And every time he was smashed to somebody, he would always start bleeding because he had high calcium buildups on his forehead. So every time he would hit, it would start bleeding, and people knew about it. So yeah, I mean, about the high calcium buildups and stuff like that. It happens all the time. You basically get it out and pray to God that it don't grow back, and chances is it's probably gonna grow back, but it takes a long time to build back up, and it is what it is.
Yeah, so him getting those calcium deposits out. I actually had a guy in my basic training. I think his name was Williams or something. And his father, I remember him specifically because his father spoke at graduation. His father was a full bird colonel. So he had calcium deposits, and during basic, they was trying to give him surgery, but he would have to end basic training. So he said, let's do it after, or when I get to my duty station. So I know that they can't do everything that they supposed to be able to do. So I'm really happy for Penasini. I'm really happy. I'm really happy for these ex-Lions. Apparently they feel good. This is a comment here from Aaron Burden. Shout out to you. They asked Darius Slay, does he look forward to playing Detroit? He said, not really. If Patricia was there, I seen Jared Davis. All of them coming out the woodwork talking now. Everybody want to be, everybody want to talk. Jared Davis was talking. He was like, I felt like I wanted to hang it up in Detroit, and it was over. I just feel rejuvenated by the Jets. You gonna realize where you at.
No, but I understand what he's saying. Yeah. Because you got to think about when he got drafted. He got drafted by Caldwell. And his rookie year was, in my opinion, was a success. Were there ups and downs? Yes. I don't give a crap.
He's a cover 2 linebacker.
But what you're going to start to see is people, our fan base do this all the time. They did this before with Calvin Noy. Oh, Calvin Noy is trash, and I'm like, he ain't trash. He's in the wrong position.
Right. He was a 3-4 linebacker at BYU. Right. And they put him on the edge and try to slow his job down and just make him rush the passer. But that's you got speed and space. It's a totally different player.
When you got a person out of position, they're not going to perform well. The same thing happened with Tracy Walker being put in the box. Like, why? Why are you doing this? And it's frustrating to see it. So when I hear Darius Slay say, no, I'm not excited about playing Detroit, because his thing was he wanted to show Patricia, like, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. And see now it ain't excited playing him because he loves Detroit. If he can come back to Detroit, he'll come back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was Patricia. This dude drove him, Quandre Diggs.
Caldwell got a job.
Look at all the players who he done drove up out of here. And it seemed like if you became a captain, that's where the problem came at. But when it came to the Lions and the Lions being able to establish new culture, because this is something that I've been preaching for the last couple of days, because our fan base think everything takes 3 years, because culture change takes 3 years, and right now we're witnessing that that's not true. This ain't no outlier.
There is some things I've been reading about. I've been studying analytics now.
Okay.
Analytics Mob and Rams House really kind of opened my eyes to analytics, the probability of doing something. analytics predict the story. And what you're saying is true. Like there was this mantra that the run opens up the pass.
The
Okay?
run opens up the pass.
Right. And
Okay.
for the Chargers last year, when they started to run the ball on early downs, it didn't work out for them. When they passed the ball on early downs, they had a higher percentage of getting a first down or completing a drive with a touchdown. They had a higher percentage of just winning the game. A lot of their games, they started 10 games with leads, 10 games with leads, 11 games. They could have been a 12-14 last year. And it wasn't until late in the year where AG or A-Lin rather paid attention to analytics. And that's when he paid attention to analytics, that's when they started to win. And I studied this from Colin Cowherd. And I was looking at some EPA pass down stuff. And I was looking at Jared Goff's EPA. I was like, wow. I was looking at a whole different level of stats. Like stats tell the story, analytics predict the story.
Stats tell part of the story. Analytics try to help you understand the story, that part of the story that is telling. And the reason why I'm not big on analytics is because analytics don't tell me as much as the film. The film is my go-to.
Is first.
Right? Like always first. But you also got to look at it like this.
Right.
The run game can open up the pass.
It's theoretic.
But what the run game really do is it keeps the defense honest. And so when you have people who, like, for example, when you go up and you play the Titans, ain't nobody worried about your receivers. Ain't nobody we loading the box up. Now they should be, but then you start to see people like AJ Brown get off, and then you start to see Corey and all them other people that was over there get off. Now they got Julio. So the reason they brought Julio in is because guess what people was doing? People was like, yo, we know you got AJ, but I'm not gonna be panicking about AJ. I gotta shut your run down. That kills your whole offense. Mm-hmm. And so that made them one-dimensional, right? Mm-hmm. But when people went against the Bucs and they would be like, hey, I'm finna go up and I'm eliminating your receivers. They ran it down your throat. Well, I'm gonna eliminate your running backs. They passed it down your throat. And see, now you can't be honest because they're gonna beat you either way it go. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I just look at it and I say, you got to have a run game to keep the defense honest, because if you're one-dimensional, I'm going to beat you every single time. And I know as a player, a former player, when I was playing in college, let me go in watching film and realize that all you do is run. Hey, man, you can throw that ball 100 times. I don't care.
Oh, so I got some notes here about analytics in Detroit.
Okay, let's see what you got.
I gotta get them. I don't know where my note cards went. So they heavily invested in analytics department last year. And I was reading that they heavily invested last year in the analytics department. They promoted a new guy this year. His name is on my note card. Don't know where they're at. But I was doing a video on analytics and seeing what's going on with them. And the Detroit Lions been, Dagger Time was really invested in analytics last year. Dagger Time was, when I say Dagger Time, I'm talking about the Patricia era, all them fools. And they was really invested in just probability and everything going on. Show statistical trends and patterns. This dude. Shout out to you, Rams House. Everyone individually in the change of the person now. And shout out to the Ravens. The Ravens are one of the best teams when it comes to analytics. They use it to draft. They use analytics to, study. Harbaugh trusts analytics more than he trusts film, and analytics are like this. So the Ravens pay attention to analytics the most, and that was something that Bob Quinn was investing in. Now, what happened was, check this out: the Lions brass this year took a liking to our new GM, Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes loved analytics at the Rams. They actually have this group called the Nerds Nest. And it's a group of people that run the numbers on probability of this happening within a game. And the Rams and McVay really trust analytics to predict, here's a stat. Thank you, Rams. You should be a moderator for me, man. You awesome, man. You should be on the show, man. But yeah, Brad Holmes really was investing in analytics. Now I did a cross check what Coach Campbell thought about it. Coach Campbell said it's nothing but a tool to him. You know, it's nothing but a tool, and he wasn't really high on it. Oh, oh, why you gotta do that, bro? Oh man, oh man, why he do that? Anyway, love you, Mobby. You wrong about this one. This is my guy, man.
No. Listen. If you don't have somebody being critical of you, you ain't doing something right. So I appreciate all the love, even the haters. I appreciate them all. But the reality is this: when you look at the football guys,
Sunday coming soon with Mobby, baby.
Yeah, definitely. But when you look at football, you ever heard Bruce Arians talk about analytics?
You said what?
You ever heard Bruce Arians talk about analytics?
No.
You ever heard Mike Tomlin talk about analytics?
No.
What about Bill Belichick?
I'm talking about people who are moving the game forward.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm telling you is football minds are not using analytics, to do things. I mean, like, it's one of the reasons why I don't respect Pro Football Focus. It's like, to me, you're trying to be a predictor of things, but the biggest predictor is generally history, the previous history that's happened over the time. Like, you look at the Dallas Cowboys, and I know this is a Lions talk show, but I just want to bring the point up too about the Cowboys. You look at the Dallas Cowboys, and the Dallas Cowboys was a team that literally had all the talent in the world to win, right? But then you had this flawed head coach in Jason Garrett. It took years for the owner to finally admit that, damn, I fucked up with Jimmy Johnson. Because Jimmy Johnson had it figured out. And that's what it is. 100%.
Oh man, dog. I'm sorry, bro. Listen, bro. He a funny dude to me, man.
Bro. Listen, if he only knew how much I laughed at him, I mean, like I said,
I'm not gonna do this. Not on this channel. No, yeah, I'm not gonna do this.
No, listen. Say that. It's moments where he very entertaining. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100. It's moments where he very entertaining because it's funny. But the reality is he doesn't have to believe in what I'm talking about because what I say age well.
He called me Mr. Hot Take. He could be.
So
hopeful last show. He called me Mr. Hot Take, man. Y'all be careful.
100%. 100%. Hey, you realize Mobby had a whole video talking about how much of a genius Matt Patricia was. A whole video. Like, talking about why he was a genius and that all the faults fell on top of.
I don't know what that means. I don't know. That's
I had a person like Khalil Hodges, a linebacker out of Buffalo that I like, but my stuff aged way better than yours, Mobby. You know that. Mobby said we ain't taking no tight end. We took a tight end. Mobby said that Matt Patricia is a defensive genius. All we did was give the worst defense in NFL history, only to be rivaled by a team that went 0-16. So yes, it aged well. But I ain't here to talk to Mobby. I'm here to talk to Avery. Yeah. I'm here to talk to the Spirit of Detroit. Let's talk about that, man. I ain't got if he want to hop on here, we can talk. Oh. But I'm talking to you, man. Let's talk football. Yeah. He ain't gotta believe in it.
Yeah. So a big thing for me, man, is I want to gauge what's happening in training camp. How's defense doing? How's the offense doing? Does it matter? What's the safeties looking like?
Which is our worst group.
My channel is based in like essay format, theoretical format. So when there's hardline facts, I want to get the hardline facts out. I want to really understand what's going on. So tell me what's going on with the defense and anybody standing out.
To me, I think the defense is going to be like, first of all, we was the worst freaking defense, bro. Like, I think the only two teams that was worse than us was like we had the year 1961 and 1970 or something like that, and then behind us was us who went 0-16. That's how bad they was in giving up points, right? So you're talking about a team that's giving up points. You're talking about a team that was giving up points like that, and it's all because it fell on top of Matt Patricia, his poor coaching. I mean, even when he brought in Corey Underlin, it was reports that came out where they were saying stuff like. yeah, Corey Underwood is not going to call plays initially. And I'm like, what did you bring him here for? Like, if he's not, if he's not calling plays, why bring him here? There's just no point for it.
Yeah.
Now I look at somebody who's more competent, right? So, you figure, okay, well, Aaron Glenn is probably not as polished as most defensive coordinators, right? But he doesn't have to be. He has a safety net behind him in Don Capers. See, that's where it gets different.
Yeah. And what Dom Capers did, he did when he was with Pittsburgh and Green Bay, he did use different fronts, and one of his favorite fronts was the NASCAR front. I can't wait to see if that's going to be possible to do here. You have a lot of players that are like, just elephant players, which is like unstoppable, like Aquaras. I think the Aquara brothers are going to be really hard to stop.
I do too.
So that NASCAR front in a nickel set where you have 4 pass rushers as down linemen. And his one of his famous lineups was the all standing up in the 3-4. All the defensive line standing up. You don't know where the pressure's coming from, if it's blitz to the right, blitz to the left, and what's going on.
Well, I can tell you this. 100% that when you look at the Detroit Lions defense this year going into it, it's not going to be capped with just all this Superman coverage and no real zone. We're going to blitz more. We're going to disguise our scheme more. I watched this thing on NFL Network where Devontae Adams was like, bro, they never hid their scheme or their defense at all. We would go in motion to see if they would change it. He was like, they just didn't. Then I saw another clip where Akeem Hicks was talking about the same thing, how the Lions don't change nothing under Patricia. I don't expect to see a lot of those same things this year. I expect to see us being able to not only, one, get us into a position to be better, but 2, we got people who can win one-on-ones on the D-line. The weakest spot on our team, in my opinion, is the safety, which you got Tracy Walker. Then it's like, who? Like, I like Dean Marlowe. I'm starting to come around to Dean Marlowe, but it's like, who? Who after that? Nobody. And so it's one of the things that I look at and I expect for our defense.
Did you hear anything about the safeties in training camp?
I'm hearing that Dean Marlowe has been looking like Dean Marlowe, and
he been looking like Dean Marlowe.
Well, they say he been looking good. Now I got myself. I plan to go to the family day practice that they have at Ford Field. That's the plan. But I've been hearing that Dean Marlowe has been looking pretty decent in some of the stuff, but they still is just trying to get people back to just building up confidence. I mean, there was an article the other day talking about people being hurt with scars and stuff like that. And so you figure with the scars and stuff, it makes sense. But yeah, this defense is not going to be the same defense. And why would people think it would be the same defense? The biggest problem was Matt Patricia. He's gone. That's going to change the way your defense plays and the outcomes of that defense. That's just the way I see it playing out when I look at this defense. And according to them, the defense is balling out apparently. And again, it's in shorts, which is something different.
Yeah. Anyway, so not to hold you too long and everything. I got a question, man. So this is really coming to a surprise to me. Like, this is really becoming an issue. We're seeing the fan base. So there's like stats and stuff that show, or there's like articles that say, oh, the defense is outdoing the offense and the offense is outdoing the defense. Should you give any credence to that nonsense? Because
no, because listen,
they're playing each other.
They're right. They're going against each other, and offense is rhythm based. So you're talking about people getting into rhythm. What do you expect to happen when you're trying to get people into rhythm? People kill me acting like that people walk in here and just ball out. That's not how it works. That's not how it works at all. And if you 100% just look at it, you'll start to understand that most of the times that this happens all the time. Hell, Tom Brady struggled with the Buccaneers. He came in and was struggling, got called out by his head coach, and it's a reason why he did that. And the reason he did that is because he 100% wanted to make sure that, one, he understood. Look, we expect more out of you, and two, you ain't playing up to standards. And I think that's where it gets different at. So no, I don't buy any credence into this. Oh, this one is outdoing this one, or this one is outdoing that one. It is what it is. They're trying to get into rhythm. The defense is trying to get better. At the end of the day, the biggest thing we should take out of it is they're having confidence building and they're coming together as a team. That should be the biggest take from it.
Okay, so I guess this is gonna come back on me. I'm seeing a chat. Apparently, my channel is gonna be a failure for no reason. My channel's gonna be a failure, all this other stuff. I'm a clown. I don't know how this happened.
You can't listen, we doing the show. You can't give energy to things that ain't got nothing to do with the show.
I don't know. Like I really take that personal because I love the show.
Man, but listen, do your show, bro.
That's really
do your show.
Really tough, man. That's really disheartening. And if anybody knows, I know my Army folks know I got bad anxiety. So
bro, listen to me.
It's really hard for me to like take that with a grain of salt because I really try to put out content every day in every way, every shape and form. I do ads, I do other stuff that people don't care to see, cinematics, visual art. You know, I really love Detroit. I really love the Lions. I really love the content I create. And it really bothers me, especially when, you know, heroes, people I look to for respect, love, adulation, I really admire, are just, you know, dogging my channel or me. It really, you know, puts me in a bad space mentally because it's like a big brother or someone that you look at for like support and credence, and you're going to be a failure. Like that just
I tell you like this, man. I tell you like this. You have to find ways to silence the noise because there's going to always be noise when you're doing something great and when you're doing something good. And so when you're doing things that people respect and they love, you don't have to look to one person for it. First of all, look to yourself, and then second of all, keep pushing. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that. I'm seeing the comments and stuff. I appreciate the comments, man. It just really killed me because I put my heart and soul in the channel. I'm just doing an interview. I just don't know how that went to that level. Like the dude just blowing me up like I'm nothing. Like I just don't understand that. Like,
listen. You can
fans follow him like they follow him. So my channel gonna end just because. Like it's not even like I steal videos. I don't do nothing. Like my channel gonna end just because you disagree.
Man, you giving too much energy to something that don't deserve your energy. Your energy is with the people who in the chat who want to hear us talk sports. So let's talk sports.
Yeah. All right.
Let's talk sports. We got a lot of things to cover. I like that question that Aaron Burton brought up. Will we bring in another receiver to this receiving group? I talked about this recently.
Oh yeah.
They should bring back Golden Tate. They should.
No.
I'll tell you why. Just stay with me. I'll tell you why. Can Golden Tate unseat Tyrell Williams?
Now?
Okay.
Golden Tate is a run of the mill. He's done.
Done. But even if he's done, can he still unseat Brashard Perryman?
That's sad.
I feel you, but can he do it? And if he can unseat those people, then I mean that's all it boiled down to. And you don't have to give up anything. You don't got to trade nothing. You don't got to do anything. You can simply go out, give him a veteran's minimum, or I mean, hell, we gave Danny Amendola $6 million. Give him another $6 million. Fuck it.
I agree with Buffed Up. Receiving core gonna be trash anyway.
I don't think so. I'm gonna tell you why. I don't believe the receiving core gonna be trash.
Yeah.
Okay. The first reason why I don't think the receiving core is going to be trash is because we don't know what this receiving core is in the first place. What we know is we don't know the names. We know that. And when we had the names, it was still there. But what if I were to tell you,
that is true.
Because if I were to tell you that if you were to go through and look at the Lions receiving core last year, we didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver. People still didn't respect Marvin Jones Jr. The only one they respected was Kenny Galladay, and he only played what, like 5 games? So
yeah,
he wasn't
played
even
5 games. Yeah, and I think he won all the games he played in.
Right, and so you look at the receiving core. If I were to take just the last season they played, and I took the yards from those 2 games. And I took receivers, tight ends, running backs, fullbacks. And I added all those up. The 2020 team had 4,397 total yards. Right?
Okay,
just stay with me. If I were to take the same yards from our new receiving core, right? And yes, in order for me to make this fair, I would have to use the yards from college, even though I know they haven't played a snap in the NFL. I know they haven't played a snap in the NFL, but it goes to show you just a small portion of what I'm pointing out to you. Yeah. That's still 4,396. They're only 1 yard off, unless people touch the ball.
So you took the yards from the receiving core that we have. You took all their last year yards.
The last year that they played. So last year, Marvin Jones Jr. As everybody. Marvin Jones Jr. had 978. Kenny Galladay had 338. Danny Amendola had 602. Quintez Cephas had 349. Marvin Hall had 290. Mohamed Sanu had 178. Jamal Agnew had 89. TJ Hockenson had 723. Jesse James had 129. Hunter Bryant had 44. Isaac Nada had 3 yards. DeAndre Swift had 357 receiving yards. Adrian Peterson, 101 yards. Kerryon Johnson, 187 yards. Jonathan Williams, 21 yards. And Jason Cabana, I suck with names, 8 yards.
What you doing is literally what the A's did in 2003. You know the Oakland A's. You watch baseball?
Okay, the Oakland A's.
I watch baseball. I don't cover it on here. So many games in the season. But Oakland A's realized that they needed a certain amount of production. They developed a system called moneyball in 2002, and that moneyball system was based on we lost Amani Giambi, we lost this guy and this guy. There was a movie about it. They lost 3 players that got on base that for the whole team, so they realized they needed that production out of a whole team because they couldn't have a salary cap. So what they did was they got guys to fill in those yards you're talking about. They got guys that got on base up to the amount that Giambi and them got to. And they went on to win a championship later in the year. Well, the next year.
And that's what I believe. That's what I believe the Lions is doing.
You think the production, we need this amount of production out of these players. So that makes some type of sense. If we can have a certain amount of production out of these players, because they had proof that they were as productive as our last receiving core, we'd be better off.
Right. But and the biggest issue that they had when talking about our receiving core from 2020 was we didn't have any speed. We have that now. We have speed. Like, that was our problem. Oh, there's no speed. There's no speed. Well, there's speed now.
Yeah.
So
that is true. The Lions were a slow offense. But I look for them to be more. Bro, I think that the reality of it is, and I'm gonna be frank with you. I want the Lions to be a running team no matter what.
You and me both.
All types, like I don't like, you know what I'm saying? I've seen the cute offenses. I've seen my short passing game. The Steelers have a great receiving core and didn't get them no farther because they got one game in the playoffs and it was a wrap. So for me, run and run some more. Let's get our formula, the trinkets next year, but let's create the culture and do what we're doing in the Motor City right now. I think that it's a great. We living in a great philosophy era where teams are getting back to being Detroit City, and establishing that toughness and that Motor City pride, man. You look at the basketball, look at the NFL. All these guys are getting back to really core fundamentals, and one of the fundamentals is running the ball. And you look at a team like their analytics is great. They ran more than they passed, but they was so productive in the run that the pass was just extra. Tennessee Titans, Tannehill by far was a very improved quarterback, but at the same token, he had a run game that he relied on. Now, did he have better receiving talent? Yes, he did, and that receiving talent showed up. But at the end of the day, be a running, physical, dominant team and control that line of scrimmages and control the defense as well. I think the most important thing we can do is really build through the trenches like we have and really develop this toughness and this physical attribute. When you see Detroit, you have a problem in Detroit. So, all that receiver stuff, all that friendly Matthew Stafford stuff, who we're throwing to. We had Calvin Johnson, then go to the Super Bowl.
Right. And you know why? You know why though, right? You know why, right? Because the game plan was so centered around get the ball to Calvin.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is why I was happy in a way when Matthew Stafford asked for a trade, because I said this staff is going to understand that you're not going to be asking Jared Goff to win the games.
Right.
He's going to be asked to be Troy Aikman, which is manage the game and don't kill us. We're going to run the ball. We're going to use the run effectively, and we're going to be good at it. That's why they went out and they added a guy like Sewell to complete the offensive line, because they wanted to do that.
Sewell is doing well. I hear Sewell's doing well. If I look at my phone right now, Sewell is just everything we expected. And obviously the guys are in shorts, and I'm gonna say it before, but the prefaces, takeaways from the Lions training camp. Dan Campbell's building something real smart. TJ Hawkinson and Goff have electric chemistry. Just right here. Penei Sewell is everything you thought he'd be. Offensive line is stacked. TJ, the player to watch out for. He's going to be on my fantasy team. I'm going to start fantasy this year. Our offense is based on what the defense gives us. Goff has been working on his deep ball. This is an article I got.
If everything you're hearing is tailored towards the run, it's tailored towards the run. And if you think about it, that's the Lions' way. I think a lot of people missed that. When in 1991, Rodney Peete was the starting quarterback and he wasn't doing well. He gets hurt. They bring in Eric Kramer. He didn't do well. They went to the NFC Championship game. Right? But how did you do that when you didn't have a quarterback? They was running the ball, and the quarterback were in games where he wasn't killing them. And I don't think we had in 91, I don't even think we had a 1,000-yard receiver in 91, if I'm not mistaken. I think our highest one might have been 6 something. So if you just look at it, the Lions' way has always been to establish the run. I would agree with that. And that is the way it has to be. We need to be able to do just that. We cannot keep doing this relying on. And I hate to say this because I also like the Seattle Seahawks too. I love Russell Wilson, but what has Russell Wilson done without a run game? I'll wait. Nothing.
What has he done without a line?
That's what I'm saying. He done nothing. He was taking beatings, and then Marshawn Lynch. Look at the games, man. There were some games where Marshawn Lynch, bro, was in the rarest form.
This is an article I got from Campbell. This is words on. I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm trying to.
No, you good. Go ahead.
There's one more day left in the 4-day acclimation period before the beginning of training camp, as expected, to conduct padded practice next week. With that being said, we see that the Lions are shaping around Goff's skill set. I think for him, this is from Campbell. I think for him, there are certain things that he really likes and he does well. Campbell said about Goff, he loves progressions. He loves progressional reads. He loves throwing it downfield. He really feels comfortable. A lot of that comes from run, play, pass. I don't know. You can figure that out. Things of that nature. We're not in the world of true shot plays right now. We got throws downfield and things of that nature. I just think that certain things that he's comfortable with, we're doing. So we're trying to give him those things, which there again is a lot of progression, but he's been great. So if I really diagnose what Campbell said, it looks like they're doing a lot of plays that he was good at before. It looks like he's throwing the ball downfield, I guess, to prove a point. I don't know why. I would just try to make the completion and live for the next down. That's what I need him to do. I need him to be anti-Stafford. I know people don't want to hear that,
but you're right though, and this is from a Stafford fan.
I don't know.
This is from a Stafford fan. I don't like the reason he needs to be anti-Stafford is because you need him to not be the one that needs to win the game. He needs to just manage it. Stafford was asked to win the game, and they wouldn't give him much to win it with. That's why Aaron Rodgers over there flipping out, talking about some y'all keep, even though they gave Aaron Rodgers every goddamn thing under the sun, he's over there flipping out because he's like, yo, you taking away people who I got history with that works, and let's figure out a way to make it work. But you notice he took no pay cuts for them people to stay there. He taking contracts and so forth and so on. But you're right. He has to be anti-Stafford because the first thing he had to do is tell himself, I'm not going to be able to do the thing Stafford did. Let me do what I can do.
That's okay. I just watched a video on why the Rams will be better without him. And
Alex Rowland.
Yeah, and I'm not with it, man. Look, it's cool to have a perspective on Goff. That's cool. It's cool, but I don't see no one man winning the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes played phenomenal. I know this is probably a straw man argument to a lot of people. Patrick Mahomes played phenomenal in the Super Bowl. And his great wide receivers didn't catch the ball. We seen that. So all this talk about receiver really gets me going because we're counting this guy off. We're counting our receiving core. Look what Rams House said. Dude from St. Louis, or from the Rams. Blah blah blah. He says Cooper Kupp was a 3rd-round pick. People thought that was a reach. Woods and Watkins were both cast-offs and bust from Buffalo. Tyler Higbee was a 4th-round pick, and these guys made plays. These guys were good. So, can Goff make a receiver? Because we see that from Aaron. I think a lot of this comes from this is the NFC North. We've had Stafford, and Stafford's always lost to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, y'all call him Sharon Rodgers, whatever. I'm gonna have a video on the Aaron Rodgers situation and all that NFC North outlook, but Aaron Rodgers makes receivers. You could go back to who's that dude? Geronimo Allison. Geronimo Allison was balling out with Aaron Rodgers for at least 3 or 4 games. You go back. Well, he had Donald Driver. He had some receiving cores, but there were some times where he made people look good. He made some guys, Jordy Nelson was a phenomenal talent.
I can't stand damn Aaron Rodgers, man. You know why I can't stand Aaron Rodgers? Because this idea of that he made people look good is baloney. He's had good receivers. We listen.
He's had solid receivers.
Listen, if he made people look good, what happened to when they brought in what was it? Graham? What's his damn name? The tight end.
Tight end,
Jimmy Graham.
I think his name is. Tight ends. Mike McCarthy don't even use tight ends.
I know, but this is my point. He makes them better. There was a lot of stuff is scheme fit. Schemes open a lot of people up and get people in position to make plays. And a lot of the times, I will give Aaron Rodgers props. He can put that ball where it needs to be. I get it. Yeah. But let's be honest. If he making receivers, then we wouldn't be going off on some of the receivers that they had that was terrible. Because they, he'd throw the ball to him and they'll drop it. It's just the receivers are good. That's what it boils down to for me. These are people who are good because you can't just put anybody on there and they be good. If it's that case, why is he bitching? Why is he going off and getting all mad and want people fired and want to be a part of the conversation?
Right. You know what? I think that I think I'm on a minority of that. I think Aaron Rodgers is due some respect from the organization. I think Stafford was due respect from the organization.
I can understand the approach because as a guy who is an employee, which God willing, not for long, because I'm trying to be the boss. I don't want to be the employee no more. But I can understand where you try to give them some suggestions to make things a little bit better for your job, and it's basically overlooked. But in my viewpoint, I went through every freaking draft since they had Aaron Rodgers. They have done everything for that man. Everything. Receivers, running backs, offensive line, defense.
They were drafting receivers when the defense was a problem.
That's what I'm saying. They was giving this man everything, and he's still mad about what?
Aaron Rodgers.
Like, bro, it's too much for me. Aaron Rodgers sometimes be pissing me off, and I don't understand what his gripes be. I understand he like, well, I feel like I should be a part of these decisions and blah 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 and blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you so great and you a bad man. What they keep saying, why are you out here complaining?
It's big for me, man. It's the real logic that I'm seeing is that I'm gonna say this, okay? They've had 2 legendary quarterbacks. I don't like talking about Green Bay. I don't. I really don't. I don't like bigging them up. I don't like nobody in the NFC North. I really don't. The Vikings, they got some nice colors. I don't even like them. I don't even wear the colors together. You feel me? So it's hard for me to do this right now. Devontae Adams, it's hard for me to talk about this dude. So I'm going to try to muscle through this because I'm a diehard Lions fan. I don't deal with, I don't connect. I got a sergeant in my unit who got a Green Bay poster up, and I look at it like this every time. That's how much I hate it. So I'm like not kidding you, bro. Like it's hard
I look at it,
bro.
It's like the disgust face.
It's like you hate somebody, but you got to give them credit for something.
Listen, bro, like I get what you said. I get what you're saying, but I remember when Davante Adams first got to the Packers, and I would never forget this. To me, Davante Adams was very similar to Cliff Avery for the Lions, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. Cliff Avery in preseason, I would watch him time after time get to the quarterback and be constantly pressuring the quarterback, and I'm like, he's still not starting.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, DeAndre Levy had the same problem. DeAndre Levy had the same problem. And I remember watching a game. It wasn't even a game the Lions were going against Green Bay. It was Green Bay going against the Vikings. And Davante Adams was in the slot, and he ran this route. And I was like, bro, how did he get that damn open? And I went back and watched it, and I was like, oh, this dude is a monster. And it took him forever, it felt like to me, it took him forever to give them a shot and a chance to do it. But I don't think he made no Davante Adams.
Yeah, Davante Adams is a monster, and
right.
I think that Aaron is due some type of due respect. Obviously, he's reigning MVP, but at the same time, that's a cheap organization. They've always been cheap. They've always been. We pay 2 players, and everybody else is a role player. I just can't. I'm sorry. This is a Lions podcast. We spirited Detroit, not spirited.
Right, and it's good. But it's good. Even this comment right here. This is how I felt about Calvin Johnson. People get mad at me about my take on Calvin Johnson. I'm like, oh, Calvin, tomorrow he wanted to trade and everything else. He didn't take no pay cut. He just wanted the Lions to eat that cap penalty. Come on, man, it's a business. If you wanted out, you should have told him, I'm taking a reduced contract because you can put all this in writing. I'm taking a reduced contract with the idea that you're trading me. Because if that's the case, then it works. And if you look at what happened in that trade with the Packers and Randall Cobb, they had to give money and pay part of that cap penalty for that trade to go through. So my attitude to it is, if Calvin Johnson wanted out, all you need to do is take a pay cut and we can trade you. The reason they asked for the money back is because the salary cap was hurting.
We wasn't in the meetings. We don't know that stuff. We don't know what Calvin was saying versus the organization.
True, but according to Calvin Johnson, he said they did ask for a trade and it was denied. And I believe somebody asked him, about the pay part, and he was just like, "Look, I earned that money." Well, wait a minute, you wanted the money and wanted to be traded? Come on, bro, we can't work like that.
And this is another thing Buffed Up said. I remember Calvin said he would take a pickup to keep Sue. I remember an interview with Calvin where he said he knew the organization. This is when he was plotting retirement. He knew the organization wasn't serious about winning because they didn't pay Sue. I thought they offered Sue with Tampa Bay, or no, Miami offered him. I thought they offered him $100 million.
They offered him close. I think it was the same average, I believe it was. But I think Sue, and this I might be wrong on this, but I think the reason Sue was tired was because he was tired of the Detroit media and fan base. He was getting harassed here, bro. He was getting tickets, and every time he get like a simple traffic ticket, it blew up on the TV. And Dominic Sue speeding down the road gets a traffic ticket. And it's like, bruh, so what? I got a traffic ticket the other day. Why are we talking about this? Yeah. He had got pulled over a few times.
I don't talk about no goofy shit on my channel.
That's because it's stupid. Who cares? But he was getting that. He had his sister was like, oh, if the fans don't appreciate him, we'll take that services somewhere else. And then you go through. That's one of the reasons with Matthew Stafford. Kelly Stafford had the same attitude. Oh, they don't appreciate us here. We take our stuff somewhere else. And they ain't the only ones who's done it. A lot of people have done it. And I'm just saying that to be honest, yeah, that was the biggest mistake the Lions ever made, was letting Sue leave this building.
Yeah.
That was the biggest mistake.
That's the biggest mistake he made, because in that wide 9 set, he was unstoppable, especially playing actuals 3 technique, 2 technique.
Listen, I think when you look at Sue when he was on the Dolphins, I used to ask the question of like, bro, they own Sue. Where are you at, Cameron Wake? How do you all of Cameron Wake?
I appreciate all y'all in the chat, by the way. I appreciate all y'all bigging me up. I appreciate it, man.
100%, man. And make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button, man. Like I said, y'all want to make sure y'all get it done. But I'm just saying, if you go through and you look at it, man, he was over there, and you had Olivia Vernier on the outside rushing with Cameron Wake, and they wasn't getting home. Why not? Right? But then you look at it, the only place where he went and people didn't get better. He go over to the Rams, and all of a sudden, Aaron Donald get 22 sacks when he been averaging 11. Come on, bro. He goes over to the Bucs. All of a sudden, Barrett, who's at best was getting 6 or 7 sacks. All of a sudden, he's 19, 20. Come on, bro.
Well, you know, Vita Vea also the Tampa Bay Bucs was doing some different things last year. I actually hope the Detroit Lions adopt some of the things Tampa Bay was doing over there. Can I go over those with you?
Yeah, go ahead. You know I'm a Bucs fan too, so you talking to the right person.
Bro,
listen,
okay.
I like 3 teams, bro. It is what it is. Yeah. Listen, when I grew up,
yeah,
I felt like, okay, so my family are Pittsburgh fans, so we didn't watch Lions games in my house. There was Pittsburgh games and Pittsburgh only. Yeah. You can't tell them nothing about the Pittsburgh Steelers, and so I fell in love with Barry. I'm from Detroit, so I'm like, yo, Detroit's my home team. I'm rooting for the home team.
Yeah,
but the Bucs had the defense. And I loved everything about that defense. I love John Lynch. I love Derek Brooks. I love Barber. I love Warren Sapp is my favorite player, right? In Seattle, I just fell in love with Seattle because they had a lot of my favorite players too, like Ricky Waters, Steve Atwater, LeVar Kirkland, and I respected the hell out of them. So those teams that were the ones I liked. They all were bottom feeders when I liked them too. So I just like those teams for different reasons. Like I think the Buccaneers should bring the creamsicle uniforms back. I think them boys is fire.
Yeah. They probably will next year. That's
I hope they do. What
is this?
Oh man, you gotta block that, man. That's just
I gotta block it. Yeah,
you gotta block that. You can't even time out that one.
It's blocked for 5 minutes. Oh
yeah. Well, don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Anyway, check this out, right? So I don't know why that came out like that. Anyway, these guys on here. Tampa Bay, what I was talking about. So Tampa Bay plays a 3-4 exotically, right? What I mean by exotically is 3-4 is their base defense, and then they'll go into other packages. No different than any other team. But what they like to do, what I was looking at, was they like to play a 4-3 man under. Let me just block this block user. There we go. No more racism for forever. Right. Also, so what they like to do is put a 4-3 man under, and that involves a nickel corner, or no, that involves a outside linebacker and a pass rusher. The pass rushing linebacker on the outside would put his hand in the dirt. Their other linebackers would be off center a little bit, and they're running 3-4, so they still got 3 linebackers. That one outside linebacker, who is really a middle linebacker, becomes the outside, and it goes to a set alignment. So just imagine 4 down linemen now, and this is the defensive end, and then 3, of course, linebackers and over the set. But what they would do is they would put Vita Vea and Sue right here. So it's a traditional 4-3. So this is how Queen of England. Okay. It's a lot of nonsense. Anyway, what they would do is just, they would confuse defenses that way. Their base set was a 3-4. They'll be in a 3-4 to start the game. And as the game wore on, they'll put in these exotic coverages like, a 2-man switch, which is a 2-man under, which is showing that cover 2. But if that receiver goes deep, or if that receiver goes on a deep post, that receiver is going to be taken for a man, and it might be double coverage down the field with the safety. So those corners had the ability to change just based on what they see, So a corner would look like, oh, this person's going on this route. So if he goes on this route, I do this. I fade back to the center field and cover where safety is, or I fade back and it's man-to-man, or I actually play cover 2 if he stays shallow. And I like that, I really did like that. Them playing the 4-3 and putting Sue and Vita Vea there and just allowing those guys to eat and work was just amazing. Just tremendous when you allow your defensive line to be who they are. Like the Pistons of not the Pistons, but the Lions of old. used to allow their defensive line to be where they are. Now, I wish they had more stunts. I wish they had more chaos going on with the D line. I wish they had more chaos, because if they did, they would have went farther in the playoffs, especially with the 4-3 and going into a 3-4, which is easily convertible if you have a linebacker that is just a phenomenal player that can put his hand in the dirt and then, press up and stand up. If you have that, I think we had that with Trey Flowers. I think we had that with Romeo Okwara, where we can have these different front. When I say coverage, I'm talking about that front seven. That front seven is going to give you different looks and different schemes, and they might drop off. This guy might drop off. This guy might be blitzing the A guy, and the stunts and the blitzes. Deshaun Hand, I know he was invisible for a lot of people, but his ability to stunt and get across the line with quickness, and Michael Brocker's ability to do the same at the 3 and 5 techniques, is just amazing what they can do. I just look at it like that front seven might be tremendously good.
Well, it's funny because I remember I had a subscriber hit me up and he was like, "Man, you said the Lions should not take Devin White," and I said, "Because Devin White is no different in terms of what you get from Jared Davis, and y'all was killing Jared Davis. So why did you want to get the similar thing?" I'm like, at best he might be a little bit faster, but he's still Jared Davis, right? And people are, "Oh, that's not true." I said, "Man, go and look at this. Go and look at the stat line." I said, "I watch the games, but go and look at the stat line." The White got better come to playoffs. Regular season, they were starting to question, like, bro, your coverage skills was just suspect. This was suspect, and things got real shaky. You know what I mean? But the reality is I think when you look at the Lions and the Lions defense and their ability to do what the Bucs is doing, we are missing a key component, and that's safeties.
Yeah. That
Winfield, that's a different beast. I like Winfield. Antoine Winfield's a different beast, and the way that they utilize their safeties is, if we can do anything similar to that, you're right, we're going to be a problem.
Hey, so I'm going to draw up a 4-3 man under. I know I probably don't have to. And what you're right, with Antoine Winfield Jr. on the field, that makes up so much space because that safety is really a corner. And that's what I wanted them to draft. I thought Moreg.
I wanted him too. I wanted him too. But listen, if you believe it or not, I've been screaming for a safety for. I wanted Buda Baker.
Oh wow!
When everybody was talking about the top cornerback was Greedy Williams, I was like, not for me. I'm like that boy from Washington. It's Myron Jones, I think his name is. I hope his name is like that, Myron Jones. But he was he on the Cardinals now. He was my guy that I wanted for the top corner. A lot of times I just look at what we are doing and I look at the players who fit what we're doing and do it at a high level.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I would bring Golden Tate back, because I'm like, if he can unseat somebody, then that means that he's not a problem.
And I look for the Lions offense to start off slow this year because it takes chemistry. We've seen what happened in Tampa Bay again with their offense getting off to a slow start this year, and the media killed them. The thing about it was that Tampa Bay's practices were ran by the climate. If you know anything about Florida, they had humid practices, 90-degree practices. So they couldn't get that extra work in that Tom Brady needed to get that chemistry. I mean, they had a 2020 that was, obviously for everybody, it was a change. But the same thing was, the chemistry is going to be big. Look for the Lions to start really rolling offensively week 10, week 11. When they know each other, when Jared Goff understands, I've been with these guys for 4 months. I know how he runs. I know on a crossing route, his depth is going to be at 3 yards instead of the 5 yards that I need. So I need to convey to him how to get to that 5 yards. Get to that 5 yards and then make your pivot. Control for your receivers and understanding that not just the chemistry, but what they do, how they think, because there's receivers that try to beat guys. You understand what I'm saying? There's receivers that focus on beating guys. And then there are receivers like Sage Surratt. Sage Surratt wasn't necessarily focused on beating the cornerback. He was obsessed with the contested catches. He was obsessed with look, this guy's going to catch me. I don't have that much speed. Let me allow myself to catch the ball, be out physical him at the point of attack, high jump the ball. Calvin Johnson did this, but Calvin Johnson had the speed to finesse receivers down, finesse corners down the way. You know, he could blow past Eric Rowe quick, and he can blow past a lot of people quick. He had that size and speed.
Well, that's why Darrell Reeves did him dirty.
Yeah, yeah.
Darrell Reeves did him dirty, bro. I was like, damn. Yeah, I was like, you let Darrell Reeves do you like that, man?
So right now I'm drawing it out, and I'm gonna just put acquire Trey. So that 4-3 man under. I don't know if my thing is gonna catch it. That 4-3 man under. You, McNeil. This is your standard 3 down lineman. Okay, but if you put a hand in the dirt on this guy and make him a defensive end, this is converted to a 4-3. This might be Tavai. This might whoever the middle linebacker is gonna be. In this set, let's say, for instance, in this particular set, we have Tavai, we have Collins right here, and I'm just spitballing. And we have, for instance, what's his name? What's that white dude's name? Alex Anzalone. My bad. Anyway, no disrespect to Alex Anzalone. This tandem right here is going to be really big. Okay, him eating up the 1-on-2s because they're going to focus on him. Okay, look for them to focus on McNeil. McNeil is a pass rushing, attacking defensive tackle. Being 6'2" and 300 pounds, and he played baseball, he can stunt and he can rip. He has a plethora of moves. Michael Brockers is going to get the 1-on-1s. This is going to be another big thing because in his career, he was taking on the double teams. He was actually helping out. A lot of the times he was helping out. He was an assistant to Aaron Donald, who's the best player in the league. Aquara is going to get the 1-on-1 matchup for sure. If he has his hand in the dirt, they might chip block him with a running back. And at the same time, that running back's not going to be capable of stopping Romeo Aquara. And then the next drive, it might be a 3-4 look. And a 3-4 look might be just based on actual coverage. The things that they can do with their defense in disguise is really blowing my mind.
Fact, they got options.
Who's coached? I know that if you know your players, you know that, oh, I just have genuine pass rushers. Oh, I have genuine athletes. Then you start to get excited because you can slow down the scheme and you can really just get after them. You can just teach them to be violent, and it really makes me excited. Go ahead.
I suspect that the defense will be, just like you said, slowed down, but yet still aggressive. And it's because we have players who can win the 1-on-1 battles. And if you can win the 1-on-1 battles up front, that's the first step of it. I think one of the biggest issues was, as much as I love the play of Danny Shelton, who was getting home outside of a core. And you talked about it. You talked about it earlier with the Accord brothers. What's better competition than me arguing with my brother? Let's see who get to the quarterback first, right?
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine that whole conversation? Hey, bro. Yeah, what's up, bro?
I look for that defense to win games early, and especially if they disguise coverage early. I think they'll start 3-0 if they really get a gel on that defense. Then we're gonna start 3-0.
I got us at 2-1, but I ain't shocked if it's 3-0 because I think, like I said, that
first, who we lose to. I'll tell you why we win.
The Ravens. The only reason I'm giving the Ravens that one is because it's coming off a shorter week from that Monday Night Football game against a divisional rival. Okay. So that first week is obviously we at home, and they got to travel from the West Coast and play at 1. That's going to suck for them, and they don't have any film on us. But I'm hearing right now that they having some problems in their training camp. But again, it's shorts. We got to keep on saying that.
The Ravens are going to be interesting because they got one of the best teams in the league at diversity of the run. And what I mean by that, they can run the trap. They can run a zone. They have the biggest diversity in the run game. So their looks out of the shotgun could be a run. Their looks out of the 5 wide jet sweep, that could be a run. So
but it's a short week though. That's what.
No. I feel you.
That short week. You talking about playing that Monday, and then all of a sudden we got to go and play them on Sunday. It's like, bro.
Check this out. I look for the game plan of that second week to be the baseline game plan for that third week. I know that sounds silly, but you have a quarterback that's going to be in contain. We have to contain Aaron Rodgers because he gets outside the pocket. He's 91 overall, 61 outside the pocket. I'm talking about like what's that QB rating? Okay, outside the pocket. That's going to probably be the core thing where they put Jelani Tavai or probably a safety maybe, or bring down another safety or a gap player like Melifonwu to be in the spy for it is coming off a short week.
You know what's funny? I hate to cut you off, but you know what's funny? I just thought about something. If Matt Patricia was still here, he would have had people like Everson Griffin and Trey Flowers spying Lamar Jackson. That dude was really putting those guys in spy position. Like, what? Why?
You said who he would have to spy?
He would put Trey Flowers or like Everson Griffin or like Jelani Tavai as a spy. And I'm like, who are they catching?
Right.
Why? Right. Like, why are you making him a spy? Like, I don't. But now you're right. This year is going to be different because you can take Iffy and make him a spy. You can use some other different looks and say, okay, if this guy want to run, we're going to cover it like this. I just believe the fact that Don Capers is helping Aaron Glenn out is going to make this defense 100 times % better, and you're going to get more pressure and more from it. And I think if the Lions get a winning record this year, we losing some coaches.
Yeah, we for sure we losing some coaches. The 5-2 Brockers is great. And invite me to your league. Y'all are great. You guys are great. I don't want to hold you too often. I know you got kids, you got life. I want to hold you.
Yeah. And they if you've been paying attention, they've been in the back acting the food because they daddy's boys, man. So it's like when daddy in there, it's different. When mommy in there, it's like mommy not finna let us tear shit up. And, so. But I'm gonna have fun with it. You're just not gonna tear it up.
But I would love to do some like coaching stuff and stuff on your channel, man, to show you how we can beat these people or what we can do.
We'll figure it out, like where we can do some breakdowns on what we see on how they can win, and that way and just make sure we bouncing it back and forth like that. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that what was that? Okay. I thought that was an injury, but that was a laugh. Well, I was gonna say, oh shoot. But yeah, we can definitely do something like that because, like I said, when the season starts, my goal, hopefully, this overtime stuff die down. God, I mean, let me ask you a question. This might be a strange question, but do you get overtime in the military?
Overtime?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but yeah, kind of. It's not overtime pay. It's like in the military, you'll be released usually at 5 or 6 o'clock,
right.
5 or 4:30. And sometimes you have to, you have a specific deadline for something. When I was in the motor pool, let's say a truck needed to go out and be mission ready by Monday and it's Friday, we going to stay until that truck is mission ready. So usually the first sergeant will let us leave at about 7 o'clock or whenever that truck needs to be deemed mission ready. So
yeah, I'm just curious how the military does this thing, because I'm telling you right now, I'm getting killed all the time.
We get something in the military. We get a salary base in the military, so it's based on our rank. Private, sergeant. So the hours you're there just depends on your leadership and your task of instruction. So, a lot of times, you got guys, you got units that need, to have until 7 o'clock, 1,500 to 1,800.
Look, they laughing at me, dog. They like, bro, ain't no overtime, bro. They killing me with OT, bro. It's mandatory too. Like ain't nothing I can do.
Yeah. Can you work from home?
Well, I was working from home, but we are moving back into the office, and so it's what I'm saying. It's that's honestly, the problem.
I can't see myself doing something else. I've been active duty. I've been National Guard. I've been all that. So I've been deployed. I can't see myself doing nothing else. So I know I found something for me. What I could see myself is as probably coaching high school football. And, that's not a lot of money in that. So, obviously I would need some sustenance, and make sure I have an active duty job, a recruiter job. And I get off at, 2:30 or 4:30 to coach these kids to get them ready for Friday. That's what I would love to do. That's my biggest passion is coaching. Okay.
Yeah, I just figure I had to ask, man. I like to try to learn new things, so I learned something new. As you can see, it says we work 12 on 12 off for 6 months straight. What? What?
He's in the military too,
bro. Jesus,
we do get shifts if we like deployed. There is shifts.
He said 12
working
on,
every
12
day,
off
like
for 6 months
all the
straight,
time.
though.
Like,
dude, yeah. Listen, like I said, my goal is to be my own boss, and hopefully I get that done soon.
Oh yeah,
Marine Corps.
See guys like you, Everything King, Mobby, guys that are, that know their stuff, and just real genuine dudes. I really look up to y'all, man. And you got this young boy up here, Joe Polo. Look up to him. I would just love to coach high school football, and then do this. I would love to do this. And you guys are just phenomenal. Your channels, even Motor City Sports Talk, to a certain degree, really inspired me to really do this. So, you guys are phenomenal. I hope all y'all get y'all checks, y'all Google AdSense, like, comment, subscribe to them.
I don't take a single penny from the fan, man. I feel like we all fans, and it's the conversation for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, having a conversation, whether we agree or disagree, is for me. And that is the part that I love when it comes to talking football and talking sports, man. And so, which is one of the reasons, like, why I've always had an open channel where I'll bring anybody on. Yeah, and I've always had that. I've always had that policy. I don't care.
I know you had a video with Rams House. Did that happen? I'd love to watch it.
We were supposed to do it. We were supposed to do it yesterday, but that overtime. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They getting their money out of me, and so it is what it is. So, but like I said, I love what I do, and so I ain't complaining, but I really do despise overtime. I've never been a fan of OT. Right. Now, long hours, I don't have a problem with. Right. OT is something different, because at that point, if I'm supposed to be off at a certain time, I'm expecting to be off, and it is what it is. Yeah,
you're off when you're off, and
right.
That's a big problem in the country right now. It's like you don't have enough workers right now, and there's everybody hiring, but everybody scared of the C word. So
definitely don't say the C word.
My next year is going to be very different. I'm going to be in a different place, different. All this around me is going to be very different. It's going to be sandy. So, I just can't wait to, go out there in the sand and be away from the civilization. I actually like deploying. So, just like it. But I'm going to leave you. Love you, brother.
Hey, appreciate it. Love you too, man. Thank you for having me on.
Huh?
No, I said I appreciate it. I love you too, man. I appreciate you for having me on, man. Just talking some football. Right. But man, listen, I like to end every show on a positive note. My positive message goes directly to you, sir. Anytime you're doing things good, evil's going to find a way to creep in there. And the moment you allow for evil to move within your life and move you, is the moment that you're no longer a human being or yourself. You're somebody else's, because they have control over you. So let evil and negativity that don't apply to you, let it fly. Be bigger and be greater, because there are people who want to support you for just being you and for you doing it in a positive manner. I can tell you right now, the fact that you in the military, I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do it. And so there are so many things that you're going to get challenged with, and you're going to always be tested and pushed. And yes, even people you respect are going to let you down and fail. That's why you don't put your trust in them. You put it in God. And so make sure you find that strength in yourself, and never allow somebody to move you. Only move when you want to. Don't dance unless you hear music you love.
Yeah. I appreciate that, man. That's wonderful, man. I really do. It's really hard for me to, take that in right now, but I will take it in. I will take it with me, man, because it's not gonna ruin my night. I got 2 months. I'm about to be married. I'm about to get married. I'm about to purchase a house and go on this deployment. So I really ain't got time for anything.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Listen, you got too much good stuff going on. That's what I said, man. That's why, and you've talked to me on numerous times where I'm like, bro, don't see, because when you can't never feed into that kind of stuff, bro. So just like I said, man, just keep doing your thing, keep grinding. It could have been me, you, and 4 people in this chat, bro. That to me is a great moment for stuff. Luke, personality wise, would be great in the military, I believe. Not sure how physically in Shane you are. Yeah. It says you perhaps be a good NCO and mentor. My family is a military family. I thought I was going to do the military, and really came close to it. And then they asked me a very specific question about flat feet. And I was like, what is that? And then they checked me and it's like, you got flat feet. And I could not understand why they would never let me in because I got flat feet. Yeah. But then I learned afterwards that I'm prone to injury. And I was like, but I've never been hurt. Like, I've never had a foot injury or anything like that. But I guess when you start to get things going, it can tally up to it. And at the end of the day, you basically just become a bill for them. So I get it. But yeah.
Anything you want to? What do you think of the channel? What do you think of Spirit of Detroit podcast?
First things first, man. Listen, if you want some in your face, right down to the point, raw, you want to come here because you're going to get it right down to the raw. Plus, the dude, he gets into it in ways that I'm not going to do it that way. And the reason I'm not going to do it that way is because I'm like, look, I know our fan base, but he doesn't mind it. He's like, bump. He loves to teach, and so this is a channel that I listen to. Even when you on with Mobby, I listen to it, and I be like, all right, look, like I hear it because
do all praise to him.
You know what I'm saying? Because I just basically I look at it and I say, you know what? At the end of the day, it's about the sport. As long as you're talking to sports, I'm good, and I don't think I ever heard you say anything crazy or nothing like that. So that's the best part about it. I ain't never heard you say nothing that I'm like, yo, what's that about? Right. And, and you pride yourself on being in the know. So I respect every part of it. So it's one of the reasons why I put in my Discord. I was trying to tweet everything out, but like I said, I had got home late and I got it in my Discord.
I tried to set up a Discord, man. I really did. I was trying to understand it.
It's confusing, ain't it, man? Bro, you and me both, bro. You and me.
I got a battle buddy. Shout out to Amon-Ra, man. I got a battle buddy. He's like a gamer. That's all he did in the barracks, when he was on mission. This past summer, that's all he did. He went on mission, fixed computers, and then he built his own computer and got Discord. He's like, Horton, you want Discord? My last name is Horton, so he was like, yeah, Horton, you want Discord? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, man, I don't understand that stuff. So,
bro, listen. Shout out to that man right there, Lions Lee. Lions Lee is who set up the Discord, and it's the reason why that Discord is fired because I had no clue what the hell I was doing. I barely know how to message people, to be honest with you. He has been teaching me a lot of stuff and getting me hip to it. So, but like I said, man, that's just good people wanting to help other good people, and so that's what it boils down to. And so keep grinding, keep pushing forward, man. And trust me, good people will find you. They already in here. I'm telling you, Lions Lee is one of them. I can go down the list of people in here who I know are good people. Just a lot.
Shout out to him.
It's a lot of good people in here, man. Don't let nobody get you out your square. That's your square.
Come on. Yeah. Well, on that note, obviously, great show. We had a little bit of negativity, but great show. This is wonderful, man. We're gonna do this. It looks like I'm gonna need help on Served Up Sundays. So it looks like I was fired on Served Up Sundays, but I love you, man. God bless you. God bless Spirit of Detroit. God bless everybody in the chat. Thank you for watching this video. Shout out to Joe Polo, of course. Shout out to even Dion, of course. Shout out to Motor City, man. Everything King. All y'all who really do this. Liddy Mob in the building. Shout out to all you guys, man. Love y'all.
Flat feet stand up.